and welcome to Palm Beach Senior Chat. My name is Marina Ramirez, and I'm the owner of Assisting Hands Palm Beach. Today, we're here with Dave Whelihan, owner of Home Sweet Home. So, good morning again, Dave.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit about you, please.
Okay, I've lived in Florida for since the early 1980s, and I've been in the real estate field for over 30 years. I have taken a strong interest in the geriatric and learning about how the baby boomers are aging, and brought my interest into the assisted living arena.
Okay.
About 4 or 5 years ago, and here we are.
Perfect. Very well, Dave. So now we have decided that we're placing our loved one in an assisted living facility. So as we visit different places, what are the questions that we should be asking to find out whether this is the right place to place our loved one?
Good. One of the top questions, I think, is what is the ratio of caregiver to residents in the house?
And what is that important?
Well, in most cases, you have, in these houses, ALFs, you have a high dementia population, and the more eyes and ears and more hands on deck, I think, is the safest way to get through the day.
Very good. And what would be the next question?
Another good question would be the experience that the caregivers and your staff have.
What would be the typical experience that would be required?
So most of our staff are all CNAs, and then they also have a higher training and certification level that we put them through since they were my own staff. Okay. They have medication management training and things like that have a little higher degree extra to work in a smaller setting.
Okay, very good. And what would be another important question?
I would say another one is the benefits of choosing your house versus another location.
Of course. That will give you an idea of what are the top reasons for each different facility, right?
Correct.
And how about emergency plans? Is that also very important to ask?
Yes, that's another great question. The emergency management, believe it or not, even after 2 years ago when the government mandated that the facilities all must have generator run and adequate fuel service, there are still some that are not in compliance. So that is still a very good question to ask as you're placing someone.
Indeed. Because I've read on the news that honestly the state government does not have enough people to supervise this. So it is up to us, as the concerned ones and family members, to make sure that our loved ones are in places who have the correct way to overcome a situation like that, like a hurricane and the aftermath, right?
Correct. You want to make sure, ask those questions. You want to see the full house generator. When all of our places have all impact hurricane, full impact windows, hurricane windows and doors. We have the full house generator, not just run a section of the house, but a full home.
Perfect. I'll be in with you.
And an adequate supply, of course, for fuel, so it all goes together well.
Very good.
Thank you.
And lastly, what would be the last question that people should ask to see if it's the right facility for your loved one?
Well, I think you'd like to know what other amenities and what's included with the monthly cost.
Okay.
And at Home Sweet Home, we cover everything from A to Z for a resident to move in. We supply the bedding. We supply the whole room furnished.
Okay.
Everything they'll need in the room. They don't even have to bring their own toothbrush. We'll give them that too.
That's great.
If they have some of their own belongings, we allow them to switch it out. If they have a favorite desk or some photos or pictures, we can swap them out. But we do supply everything that is needed, and also, of course, all the full meals and beverages, food and beverage, and round the clock concierge. care.
So, I mean, let's do some role playing here. I am looking for a place for my dad, and I visit different places. I mean, will owners and administrators feel comfortable with me asking these questions that you suggest?
Absolutely. I like to be present on any tour that a family or a referral source comes to my place to show them around, show them, meet the residents, meet the staff. And you would definitely want to have the administrator or owner there to help you through those questions.
So that would be one thing to watch out, right? Who is giving you the tour?
Absolutely, yes.
Very good. So tell me, I'm looking for a place for my dad, and you are the owner, and you're showing me the place around, and I'm looking at this place. What is the ratio of your place?
Okay, so the 2 homes that we have in operation right now in Palm Beach Gardens are both with 6 residents per house.
Okay.
And I have 2 staff that are there all day long to take care of those 6 residents. Mm-hmm. That's the 1-to-3 ratio. There's an occasional time when we get busy in the mornings that I'll bring a 3rd temporary in to help in some of the crunch times in the mornings.
Okay.
So, but there are always at least 2 girls there all day to take care of the residents. They help them with all their daily activities that they need to be helped with. Mm-hmm. They do all the cooking and cleaning. They help with the medications, of course, assisting with anything mm-hmm. they need to do to keep them on a regular, as the doctor prescribes, the times to take them and reminders and so forth.
Do you take clients or residents to doctor's appointments?
Yes. If in most cases the families we offer, again, concierge, house call doctors and nurse practitioners, even X-rays that will come, mobile X-ray come to the property if there's anything needed, any tests, blood tests, so forth. So they usually come and cater to us at the house. If the family desires still to have the resident or their family member go to an outside doctor, then we will assist with the getting transportation and getting them there to and from.
And in terms of experience and training, what do your caregivers have?
So most of them are CNAs, and some have even hired more mm-hmm. training, but we also, as these girls, what's different from me, as most places, I do not use agencies to staff my place. Okay. I have all my own employees.
Very good.
And again, they go through a certain training and certifications through our program.
So you do have your own internal programs for training?
Yes. So we want the girls to be able to move from house to house if we mm-hmm. need them in a different location and be familiar with how we operate.
So you not only look for people who have the training, but in addition to that, you make sure that you teach them the home sweet home way.
Absolutely, yes.
Very good, very good. And like you said, is there anything else you wanted to say?
What I think to expand on that is the fact that all these own employees that I have, the continuity of care that you see for the resident is very important, especially with a dementia patient.
Correct.
That they see the same face and they're familiar with the same girls on the same shifts that are there. And it also is, the families have commented how much they like it because they feel they get to know.
It is home sweet home.
It's exactly. We try to make that as close to the home setting as possible. So the fact that they know them on first name basis and they know that they took care of their dad or mom mm-hmm. all week long, and they know the answers of how they're feeling and how they're not doing better this day or that day. So that's very important. The continuity is extremely, extremely important, and that's what separates us.
And we already talked a little bit about emergency plans and how your facility is prepared to weather a hurricane.
Well, we've had a couple close calls, but the one a couple of years ago was worse when there were some power outages.
Yes, Iris.
Exactly. And our houses are set up on an automatic full generator, so the minute there's a flicker of power in 1 minute, the generator will kick in and take care of, again, the whole facility. So there's nobody has to be disrupted.
So you had residents during Iris?
Yes.
Very good.
went perfectly and smooth, and they didn't even know there was a storm.
That gives you a fantastic peace of mind, I'm sure, for yourself and for your residents and their families.
Yes. They are very happy when they don't have to worry about it, because they're maybe out of state and they're hearing it on the news, and they just know that we have...
And on the news, they scare everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
yes. And one more thing. So you have 6 beds, and so what amenities do you offer residents in terms of, that are included? Is everything included in your price, or
yes.
do people pick and choose different things?
No, we have decided to go with just a one price. You have a flat number, every month that you're going to pay. And everything is included. If a resident is full use of their bowels and then becomes incontinent a year later, 2 years later, we do not charge extra for that. So we cover the supplies, so no matter what their level of care is, we have all that handled under that one monthly price. So it's one number all month long, and that is all meals, all beverages, snacks unlimited if they need something. We tailor their diets. We have nutritionists and dietitians that do our menus.
Oh, very good.
And we will also make substitutions if somebody has a special diet need. There's no extra charge for that. Our staff is the one that's doing the cooking from the fresh products that we bring in.
Okay.
So they can change things and alter it if somebody has a like or dislike. And we'll go over that at the admission process. So they obviously are eating healthy foods and what they want. We even go as far as doing haircuts for them and their nails if they need done every couple months, so they don't get an extra charge for that. So other places you'll see they always have a la carte menu, and that number can keep getting escalated.
Which may seem attractive at first, but then things add up, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
we have the one number, and that's been worked out very well.
Good for you. So, lastly, I'm asking you, why should we choose Home Sweet Home instead of, there's many competitors out there?
Yes, great. Of course, that's the question, $1 million question. Again, you asked the question about the care ratio. Mm-hmm. We have, from my understanding, the highest level of ratio of caregivers to staff for the residents. 2 is our houses are extremely safe and camera monitored, audio and video camera inside and out. So, and the security locks and the buzzers and safety, everything you need. We pass all the top security inspections. The only place the cameras are not allowed is in their bedrooms, in their personally.
And bathrooms.
In bathrooms, exactly. But all the common areas are all monitored constantly. And so... And
you have secured facilities.
They're all secured, all fenced in, yes. So we can take, higher dementia and higher risk residents like that, whereas some of the larger facilities will have a separate assisted living and then a different section for memory care. Mm-hmm. We have the ability to take care of it all in our one small home. And with a small setting, you obviously can keep a little closer control of the residents as they're seeing all the time with their caregivers.
Many people say that a benefit of a smaller place for dementia patients is that you're not taking them from a home into a big place. That can be disorienting. You're taking them from a home to a home. And that is, very helpful. And
very well. Yes.
Though it may not have all the bells and whistles of a bigger place that can shine a bright light, for the patients themselves or the residents, it's a more comfortable setting. Would you agree with that?
100%. We came up with the name Home Sweet Home because it's very true. Nobody actually doesn't want to leave their house, and that we'd all prefer to stay in their own home most of the time.
Yes.
It becomes a part where it's not safe for them to be there. So we try to then make this the next best or closest replica of their home. Like I said, if they have their own things they want to bring in, we can substitute that from the furnishings that we supply. But our places are very home-like, and they're not all modern, state-of-the-art, where you would see fancy. We make them like a grandmom's home would be, or mom's. We try to replicate that, and you'll see by our website, you'll see some photos and virtual tour that what I'm talking about there. So it's everybody just says it really feels like home. Well, that's what we want. That's what our name is. And that right there is, I think, important to the resident, very much that makes them feel comfortable. And then when they're just around sharing the house, basically this group home with a few other residents in their same state, they seem to get along very well and they thrive. They end up thriving much better. We've had residents that have come in to us on hospice, Trustbridge, and after several months, they don't qualify anymore for hospice, and they've actually graduated. We've had a couple cases, and that is because they start holding their own, and they are not declining, and it's been very nice to have that. The families are blown away.
Thank you.
So it's because the smaller setting and more of the hands-on care I attribute that to.
Indeed, that personal care translates into better health.
Yeah.
And you'll have vivid examples of that right there.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here with us today.
Thank you for your time.
I am sure that you have helped our listeners and our video watchers understand better what are the questions that they should ask before moving their loved one into an assisted living facility. So thank you again.
My pleasure.
And thanks everybody for watching.